Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Depending on what part of the world you are in. Let's see how many people are joining me today. Let's see if I can bring somebody on. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening from the United States. Today's topic is about trust. Today's topic is about trust. Let's wave. Good morning, Mr. Carlo. Good afternoon, sorry. Today's topic is about trust. What is trust? Let's try to define trust. Trusting someone means that you think they are reliable, you have confidence in them, and you feel safe with them physically and emotionally. Trusting something that two people in a relationship can build together when they decide to trust each other. So trust is the firm belief in the character, strength, or trust of someone or something he placed his trust in me. A person or thing in which confidence is placed. Trust can also be a property interest held by one person or organization as a bank for the benefit of another. Trust. So today we are going to talk about trust. Some of us have been through so many things in our life that we just can't trust no one but ourselves or our family. But what does and we also have different type of trust. So why is trusting God so difficult? Why is it that we can trust our parents, believe our friends, pastors, but when it comes to God, trusting becomes a problem? Like most people, I have had my moment when life was great and everything was going well. In those moments, trusting God came easily. When things are going well with our life, our family, we tend to trust in the Lord. But when something shifts, we lose that trust that we have in God. And don't you ever be that person. Always trust in the Lord, no matter what. So, let's see. Trusting God came easily, right? We wouldn't want to rely on someone when that person is clearly working things out in your favor. Right? 2, the problem started as soon as the challenge appeared. I noticed that trusting God was nothing in the good times, but somehow I couldn't find it in me to trust Him when I was broke, sad, depressed, or just going through a rough patch. Immediately, a new challenge came up. I would go back to worrying and thinking of everyone else but God to help me out. So this is the fact. Always believe in God. Because God, it doesn't matter if you're sick, sad, don't you ever lose that trust that you have in Him. Because sometimes He's just testing you and I to see if we really trust in Him. So let's look at Proverbs chapter 28 verse 26. He who trusts in himself is a fool. You cannot trust in in some cases you have to trust your instincts, but in some other cases your trust should always be in God. Remember that. Always trust in God. Let's see. Let's see who I can invite. So always trust in God in whatever situation you are going through. So let's look at Proverbs chapter 3 verses 5 to 6. It says, trust in the Lord with all thy heart, and lean not unto thy own understanding. In all thy way acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not lean into your own understanding. Trust in him no matter what. Why should I trust God above all others? Why should I? Matthew chapter 7 verse 11. So if you who are evil know how to give God gifts to your children, good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father in heaven give good things to those who ask him? And I now trust God because I know without a doubt that he loves me and wants the best for me. I can relax because I know he thinks good thoughts towards me, and I know his plan for me are way better than mine could ever be. I trust in him. I trust him because I know better. I know life is better when I partner with him versus when I small, limited me try to do everything by myself. How many times is the word trust mentioned in the Bible? The word trust occurs 134 times in the Old Testament. Imagine 134 times in the Old Testament. Trust in God. Trust, that is the King James version. Trust in God. So let's see. What is the difference between faith and trust? Faith and trust are often used interchangeably as though they are one and the same. Faith has been called the substance of hope. Faith requires no evidence to believe or practice, Even in spite of those things, trusting God means you continue to turn to him. Continue to turn to God in everything that you need. Always trust in God, because when you put your hope and trust in the Lord, everything that you wish for will come to you. And don't you ever forget that. Trust in God in everything you do. And let's see. So you keep praying even when those prayers seems to have absolute effect. You keep saying oh God, give me my heart desire. Oh God, heal my baby. Oh God, give me that job that I have been praying for. Oh God, be with me while I go to work. Oh God, be the guardian of my home, my marriage, my family. Pray. Just believe in him. Trust in him. So, my enemies will daily swallow me up, for there be many that fight against me. O thou Most High, what time I am afraid, I will trust in thee. In God I will praise his word. In God I have put my trust. I will not fear what flesh can do unto me. If you have faith, if you have trust in God, there is no fear. You have no fear. You can go through anything. You can do anything without being afraid. So put your hope and trust in the Lord. The words translated trust in the Bible literally mean a bold, confident, sure security or action based on that security. Trust is not exactly as faith. Faith is what? Faith, when you put your hope and faith in the Lord. Faith is something not seen, but what we believe. We put our faith in the Lord without even knowing if he's going to do things for us. So always put your faith in him. So let's see. So trust is not exactly as as the same as faith, which is the gift of God. Ephesians chapter 2 verse 8 to 9. Rather, trusting is what we do because of the faith we have been given. You know, when you have that faith, of course you will trust in the Lord. There is no other way out. Let me see if I can invite somebody. Come on, people. Come on in. Mr. Abu Bakar, you want to come in? You want to join me? So let's see. And, so let's see. Right, okay, let's see. So trusting is believing in the, hello, Jeanette. Trusting is believing in the promises of God in all of what? In all circumstances, even those where the evidence seems to be the what? The contrary. Always put your trust in God. It doesn't matter what you're going through. It doesn't matter what the pain is, the problem is. Put your faith and trust in God. Let's see the classic verse regarding trust is what? What? Let's see. Proverbs chapter 3 verse 5. It says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. You know, this verse sum up the Bible's teaching on trust. First, it is the Lord in whom we are to trust, not ourselves or our plan. You know, we trust in the Lord. You don't trust in yourself to say, oh, I know I am going to get that car. No. All I know that whatever I want, I will get it. No, you have to first have that faith and trust in God. You know, everything is not by your might, but God. Remember that. So, let's see. It is the Lord in whom we are to trust, not ourselves or our plan, and certainly not the world's wisdom and devices. We trust in the Lord because He and He alone is truly trustworthy. God is the only one that we can trust. I mean, your friends can let you down. Your husband can let you down. But God's trust is 1,000,000%. He will never let you down. Let's see. Come on. Let's see. So, let's look at Psalm 93 verse what? Verse 5. He said his nature is faithful and true. Let's look at Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 9. He said, and his plan for us are perfect and purposeful. You know, further, because of God's nature, we are to trust in Him with all our heart, committing every aspect of our lives to Him in complete confidence. You know, finally, we are not to trust in ourselves because our understanding is temporal, finity, and what? Tainted by our sins nature. Trusting in ourselves is like walking confidently across a rotten wooden bridge over a yawning thousands of feet deep. What is waiting for you? Disaster is what is waiting for you right there. Amen. So let's see. Trust in God is a feature of many of the Psalms of David. There are 39 references to trust in the Psalms alone, whether referring to trust in God and His word or to not trusting in riches or the things of this world. It is on the basis of this trust that David finds deliverance from all the evil he encounters. Many of David's psalms describe situations when he was pursued by what? Saul and his army, as well as his other enemies. And always did the Lord come to his aid. You know, David went through so many things, but God was always there for him. He was always there when he needed him. So that is an example of us trusting in the Lord. There is no magic. put your hope and trust in him. That is it. So there are different type of trust. Let me go over some. Trust is what? Is a relationship. You have to trust a person, group, organization, although there is what? Debate surrounding whether organization can what? Can trust each other. As in any relationship, there generally exists some conflict. All right. So, but that doesn't mean you cannot trust. Trust is like walking. When you trust someone, some of us have so many girlfriends. We call them girlfriends, friends, and sometimes we have this one that we call besties. Our besties. We have few of them, and you trust them with everything. And guess what? If one day they end up betraying that trust, you will end up not trusting nobody but yourself. So sometimes trusting someone is like a gamble. It's like playing a gamble where it's either you win or lose. So that is how trust is. So let's see. Trust involves what? Risk. There has to be a possibility of a loss. The other will act what? The other will act so nice to you. Sometimes you have these fake people. They come into your life. They act like they love you. They show you the attention that you need. What did they do? They're just there to know about you, to know what you are all about. Then they go ahead and use that against you. So be careful who you let into your circle. Be careful who you trust. Because some people are just not to be trusted. That is it. So, let's look. Trust has a positive expectation. Despite the risk, the trustor and the trustee believe something good will come of what? The decision to trust. Otherwise, they will not accept the relationship. While some people trust with what? With everything in them. It's like when you have your husband, you trust them 100,000,000% because that is your partner. And when they end up betraying that trust, what happens? Every man you will date next, there will be a trust issue. You would think they are all the same, but they are not the same. Same for us women. Men are not the same. Women are not the same. So don't use what that guy have done to you to judge the other men, because they are not the same people. Same for us ladies. Stop saying, oh, men are all the same. They are not. We have billions of them, but there's good ones among those billions. Okay, so let's see. While some people trust is what? It's periodic. Is what? It's like it's not there. Trust is just not there. It is possible that someone will always be late or unkind. So while what? While we are sitting there judging every one of different people with different type of situation, think about yourself. You might be someone else's bestie, right? You don't want that your friend to mix you up with other people, So let's see. Trust involves what? Goodwill or what? Or you just name it however you want it. So the magic and essential ingredient to trust is the extent to which you consider the needs of the other party, going beyond your own needs. More and that, more, you go beyond. Sometimes we go beyond for other people, more than your family. Some people love their friends more than their own children, more than their own spouses, their brothers, their sisters. Some people just love their friends. So, but always remember, friends comes and go, but your family will always be there. Even though they might not be perfect, but at least I can trust them that they will, some of them, that they will be there for me when I need them. So trust is freely given. You can be into different type of friendship with different type of people, but to trust someone, you give that it comes from your own will. your own understanding. So you can trust. Trust is given freely. Until someone hurts you, then I'm about to take my trust to another side. All right. So let's see. What does trust in the Lord mean? To trust in the Lord means more than believing in who he is and what he says. So the word here for trust can also what? Can also be found in different type. When you read the Bible, like in Psalm, they talk about trust 39 times. Trust. And so on. So trust in the Lord is a faith that let us bodily serve. This confidence should infuse our whole being. All of our knowledge, wisdom, and we should be what? Saturated in the action, producing assurance of the Lord. When we lean on our own understanding, we trust our own knowledge and what? And when you lean onto your own understanding, you trust everything that comes out of your mouth because you believe in what you're saying. You trust in whatever you're saying. So remember, do not lean onto your own understanding. Put your hope and trust in the Lord, because sometimes you might be wrong, and when you are wrong, don't be afraid to say it, because we are all human beings. Okay, so let's see. As Jeremiah 17 chapter 9 tells us, the problem with this is that the heart is what? Deceitful above all things and desperately sick. Who can understand it? Our heart is sick. Some of us have good heart, some of us don't. So sometimes don't listen to your heart. Our heart is deceitful. Okay? Our own sinful nature can't be counted on. But new hearts are given by Christ through the Holy Spirit. We cultivate God's trusting heart by meditating on scriptures, time in prayer, and companionship with other believers. As these things turn our heart to the Spirit. To the Spirit living in us. We will rely less on our on ourselves and more on Christ. Serving him in good times and bad times, in sickness and in health, in the battle with sin and in the peace of his rest. So let's see. I got some good quote for today before we get there. So, to trust is to what? Is to acknowledge in everything. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will make strength your path. That is Proverbs chapter 3 verse 6. It says, to trust is to acknowledge God in everything you do. Acknowledge him. And it says what? In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will make straight your path. So if you acknowledge him, and if in everything you do, he will make your path straight for you in everything you do. Remember that. So somebody said I should stop saying remember that. Okay, I'm just used to it now, so I'm sorry. Okay, so acknowledging God means knowing God wherever we are and whatever we are doing. This doesn't just mean intellectual, assent, but what? An act of what? Perceiving his character and will in every moment of your life. Trusting him in everything you do. So let's see too. If we dictate ourselves to trusting and seeking God in all circumstances, are we then to believe that life will be easy and that no trouble will beset us? We have all experienced enough of life to know that isn't that isn't the case. Isn't it not the case? I mean, we all have been through different things to know that the only one you can trust in is God. I mean, you cannot put your hope and trust in human being because they will let you down. You know, human beings are always unpredictable. I mean, when you think, oh, I'm going to my brother I know he's going to help me, whatever I need. Oh, that brother will turn you down. I mean, but God is the only one that when you put your hope and trust in him, he will never let you down. I mean, it might take time, but he will always be there for you, no matter what. So, let's look. So as we trust more in Jesus Christ and have confidence to act on his will, we may have to turn down opportunity that seem great because Jesus has called us elsewhere, or accept calling that scare us. Acknowledging God in everything means that, I mean, sometimes you might be working as a banker, maybe a lawyer, making a good money. Then here comes the calling of God that you have to be a preacher. I mean, you have to leave that job to go do the work of God. And sometimes it is difficult. You'll be sitting there thinking, is this true? I mean, why do God want me to leave my job? I mean, let us stop questioning God and just put it into prayer. Maybe that way he will lead you. He will tell you why he wants you to do what he wants you to do. Okay? So, acknowledging God in everything means that we remember that no circumstances come to us outside of the Father's will. None so ever. Knowing this will give us strength, and even through difficulties, pain, fear. You know? So, let's see. Sorry, I'm saying it again, you know. It says, putting trust in the wisdom of man. Why do you have to put trust in the wisdom of man? No. Looking to ourselves both individually and corporately is fulfilled in in the extreme. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness. You know? And with God, with foolishness with God. For it is written, he catches the wise in their own craftiness. And again, the Lord knows the thoughts of the wise, that they are futile. Therefore, let no one boast in men. Don't boast. My sister will give me. I believe say. Where see I go to my sister, they give me whatever I want. No, sometimes they will let you down. What you should be saying is, with God by my side, I know if I ask my brother for this, by the grace of God, I will receive it. But don't just say, I believe, say, my sister, no go ever. They will let you down, one way or the other. We know them. So, let's see. The Lord knows the thoughts of the wise, that they are what? God knows your thought before you even think about it. God knows what is in your brain before it even comes to your mind. Remember that. So, I'm saying it again. So whatever we think we know, the Lord knows more. He is more than capable of both shaming our own supposed wisdom and using it for his greater purpose. So, how can we learn to trust God's wisdom? Not our own. The solution to being wise in our own eyes is to stand in the awe of the Lord, to live in a respectful fear of him. Being scared of God is an idea uncomfortable for some. They want God to be loving and welcoming, but to truly understand the scope of God's love, you must understand that he is also terrifying. Some people might say, oh, I believe in God, but did they really believe in God? They don't. They just say it to please the other person. You know? So the perfect trust of Jesus Christ. Trusting in the Lord is the only path to life. Trusting in the Lord is the only path to life. And nowhere is this seen more fully fully than in the life and work of Christ. In his life, we trusted the Father totally, even to his death. Through his work on the cross, his resurrection, and his what? He offers us new life, pouring his spirit into our life, into our heart. You know, he died for us. Jesus died on the cross for us so that you and I can be saved. All right? So believe in God. What does the Bible say? It said, believe in God shall never perish. It might take weeks, months, but whatever your heart is praying for, you might surely receive it in the name of Jesus. Always call upon him. All right? So let's see. My quote for the day. It says, the best trust quote ever. To conquer the unknown, you must trust. You know, in order to know who this person is, you must first trust them and then let them show you their true colors. All right? So self-trust is what? Is the essence of heroism. It means when you trust, self-trust, I trust in myself. You have to have that self-trust in you, no matter what. You have to have it. You see, I do not trust anyone who doesn't laugh. Of course, sometimes people that don't laugh, you cannot read them. But that doesn't mean they are not good people. Some of us laugh, but our heart is what? Black. That's what they call clean teeth, black heart. Some people don't laugh. That doesn't mean they are bad, you know. And don't judge. What did they always say? Do not judge the book by its cover. You know, sometimes don't let that smile fool you, okay? So, as a trust starts with what? Truth, and ends with what? Truth. So when you start trust with truth, it ends with truth, right? Every part but your own is the path of faith. Keep your own track. Then when you keep your own track, okay, keep that track. Then you will learn to trust others, okay? And to be trusted is a greater accomplishment than being loved. All right? Sometimes people can love, but they don't trust you. They just don't trust you for no reason. So I'd rather somebody trust me than trust me before you love me. Don't love me and you don't trust me. You know, that is a problem. That means you question everything I do. Where are you coming from? Anything you say, they will never ever believe because they don't trust you. So trust me first, then love me. You know? All right? So, let's see. One must be fond of people and trust them if one is not to make a mess of one's life. You have to like people in order to trust them. If I don't like you, I'm not going close to you for no reason. You know, you may be deceived if you trust too much. You know, if you trust on him, the only person you can trust too much that you never be deceived is God. You know, but human being can always let you down. So don't put all that hope and trust in them because they will let you down. All right? One way or the other, they will let you down. Seriously. So, but you will live in torment unless you trust enough. Better to trust the man who is frequently in error than the one who is never ever in doubt. It's better to trust the person who is always making mistakes. At least when they've made it, they can apologize to you. But the one that is so perfect, there's trouble. Trouble. So, honesty is the best policy. If I lose my honor, I lose myself. All right? If I lose my honor, I lose myself. So if you lose that honor that you have in you, you're losing yourself. Okay? So let's see my conclusion for today. If you ever doubted, take a walk. You are not alone. Many women in the Bible also question God's plan. Through their stories, we can learn how God works. Through our trials to draw us closer when we rely on his sovereignty instead of what? Our strength. We will discover faith like never before. Here are 10 women in the Bible who struggled to trust God's plan. Sarah. Then the Lord said to Abraham, why did Sarah laugh? Why did she say, can an old woman like me have a baby? As you can see nowadays, people are 50 years old having kids. Not the natural way, but they go so many ways. But Sarah was an old woman. Is anything too hard for the Lord? No. I will return about this time next year, and Sarah will have a son. That is the God you should trust in. That is the God that you should put your hope and trust in. Look at Genesis chapter 13, verse 14. When something happens that can't be explained, I will try to reason it out. Find a way to make sense of it. God may be working a miracle in my life, but my mind can be my worst enemy. And no doubt, Sarah was a bright woman. She knew the impossibility of her giving birth. Why should she believe 3 strangers? Why? She knows she's old. There is no way she can have a baby. But God sent 3 people to her. He said, by this time next year, you are going to have a baby boy. And she didn't believe that. Okay? So, like Sarah, we struggle to trust God's plan because he can do things beyond our human understanding. God's word says to lean not on your own understanding. Proverbs chapter 3 verse 5. As we grasp through the truth of that verses, we can learn to let go of doubt and trust God. Learn to trust in the Lord, God's miracle working power. Let's look at Job's wife. His wife said to him, are you still trying to maintain your integrity? Curse God and die. That is what she said. Curse God and die. How can you curse God? And die. You cannot. There is no way. She watched her husband in agony, in his entire body covered with pain, boils, aches like watching those close to us suffer. And no one knew better how that felt than Job's wife. Although it may seem like Job's wife responded to his condition with carelessness. Many of us can understand her heartbreak watching someone we love with watching someone we love suffered. Can make us feel helpless, fearful, and sometimes even angry at God. Her comments reveal deep hurt. It exposes those feelings we harbor in our hearts when hope fades. Question like, why God? Why would God allow something so terrible to happen to me? Take over our thoughts, But even through our darkest time, God will prevail. Remember that God said, Job had maintained his integrity. That kind of faith can encourage those we love to trade helplessness for hope. So, my brothers and sisters, it doesn't matter what you are going through now. It doesn't matter what sickness your loved ones might be going through. It doesn't matter that job that you have lost. It doesn't matter what whatever you are going through in your life, don't you ever forget to put your hope in the Lord. Don't question his will. Don't question God. Don't you ever say, God, why me? Instead, pray to God to heal that sickness. Pray to God to provide for your family. Pray to God to give you your heart desire. Don't you ever question God's will. Thank you all for watching. God bless each and every one of us. Happy Wednesday. See you all on Friday. Goodbye.